In looking at the position that you come back to coach, you got a lot of young talent there. Some coaches don't like that so much because youth usually means mistakes and you don't have a lot of seasoning that you might like on game day in the fall. On the other hand, you've got young guys that you can mold in your style and use your coaching skills to kind of guide them along the way and build them into the type of players that you're looking for. As a coach, how do you, what's your lens on that? Like, do you like the fact that you're getting these guys at a young stage of their careers and that you can build them in the Jess Simpson style?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think that's always fun for a coach. I'd start by saying, man, I've got like you said, a young room, but I've got a hungry room. I've got a room that's teachable and coachable. They got that coach me, coach attitude. So whether we're in meetings, walkthroughs, on Zoom calls, or at practice, like I've just been, really, really pleased with how they've responded to being coached and being coached hard and being corrected and then loved on, and bringing them back. But, they do want to be taught. I think they do realize what they don't know. It's fun when you feel like as a teacher or coach that you can help a young person. And that's a big part of just coaching college, this age. You got a bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds that, you can still help mold. And, whether it's helping, as a young man, as a person, or you're helping them as a player, trying to get to the next step wherever they are in their career. Those are always like the funnest things, watching those guys take those next steps.
Coach, we've got David Lake from 24/7. David?
Hey, Coach, wanted to ask you about, I guess, the older guys that are kind of new to the position group this year, DeAndre Johnson and Zach McLeod. Mm-hmm. Just your early impressions of them so far in spring, if you could just share like what their skill sets, what they bring to the field.
Well, let's start with DeAndre. Being a new guy, DeAndre's got he's got a lot of EQ, a lot of emotional intelligence. And he's just done a great job of fitting into the room. He's got a great personality. He's a hard worker. He's smart. He's been in the battles. He's learning our defense fast and just a fun guy to be around. Everybody loves him. Coaches, kids, just a good dude. Zach, I would say, is one of the surprises of spring so far, just for me after 5 practices. And you kind of knew the intent that Zach McLeod brings every day. He's a hard charger. He's a high effort guy. He wants to do things exactly right. He's always in the building trying to do extra. And each practice, you can see him just getting a little bit. He's just connecting the dots as a defensive end. And I really think it suits his skill set. I've seen him do stuff in pass rush the last 2 days that have got me excited. In the run game, he's, a very physical kid. He's a good edge setter. He plays fast. And then when the ball's out of the stack, the Joker is going to turn and run. So, seeing Zach have a big role for us this fall, if he keeps working and doing what he's doing. But, just a super leader, great kid, fun person to be around.
Coach, we've got David Furones from the Sun Sentinel. David?
Hey, Coach, on the defensive end notes, I wanted to get an idea of the younger defensive ends that are really competing this spring. So who's standing out among that group?
You know what? Jafari's done some really good things. I mean, Jafari brings a skill set of being really a powerful, fast, twitchy kid. He's put on some good weight. He's over 250 now. Really, really worked hard in the weight room. So proud of him. Still got a long way to go as a player, but he's improving, and you see the potential. Chance Williams, another young kid who's doing, he's another intentional, you keep hearing that word over and over, but there's a lot of guys in my room that want to do things right, and Chance is no exception to that. But I think Chance is another guy that realizes how much he has to learn about ball, and you can see every day he's just inching along, getting a little bit better, whether it's developing a rush plan or how to play edges in the run game or, fast cue versus divide play, stuff like that. You can just see he's starting to get it. And, it's a process for all these guys. Nobody's going to get crowned king in the spring, and there's a lot of improvement that has to take place. But those are 2 young guys that I see having a lot of potential for us.
Coach, we've got a few more for you. We're going to go to Barry Jackson at the Miami Herald. Barry?
Hi, Coach. What's been sort of your approach with trying to push Nesta to this even higher level that he can get to? And is there a particular NFL defensive tackle you've shown him tape of?
You know what? Nesta's done a good job just – his his desire to learn football right now, I think, is probably higher than it's ever been. We've had a lot of one-on-ones. We've watched a lot of his tape. We've watched a lot of other NFL guys, from all around the league, not just one. Obviously, coaching Grady Jarrett and Tyler Davidson the last couple of years in Atlanta, obviously that's all over my tape that I teach off of. But Ness is a guy with great movement skills. And at the end of practice, we do walkthroughs every day. We walk through scheme. We walk through drills. And you can see the light coming on for him in some ways of just the things that he's learning. But he is a vertical penetrating guy like we want. And I think his biggest focus going into next fall is just how he plays with his eyes. And, for all our guys, man, as our eyes improved, as we attack, I think we're going to play more connected and play better together.
Coach, we've got Manny Navarro from The Athletic. Manny?
Hey, Coach Simpson. Obviously a couple years ago, you guys had Gerald Willis, who played at an All-American level. And I'm curious, as far as the defensive tackle position, are there guys that are showing you some of those Gerald Willis traits right now? I know it's only 5 spring practices, but that maybe make you feel like, okay, they can be as good as that guy was.
You know what? Each guy's kind of his own style of player. You can see some of those traits. Jared Harrison-Hunt has got some twitch and athleticism to him. I think that's special. He's still just a young guy, though. He's still learning how to play, but, he's definitely improving. Big John Ford, and I saw it a few years ago in here. He's a great mover. He's just moving and playing with better eyes now and playing with better conditioning. I don't know if anybody's in the exact mode of a G. Willis, but I know those guys got some traits that if we can develop, they can be really, really good players.
Thanks.
We got 2 more for you, Coach. We're going to go first to David Wilson from the Miami Herald. David?
Hey, Jess, sort of following up on that Gerald Willis question. Obviously, that's kind of the 1 year we got to really see like what a Jess Simpson defensive line looks like here. In your, when a defensive line is playing the way you want it to be, is that kind of what you envision? Defensive tackles being really disruptive, piling up those tackles for loss, and really being big pass rushers? And
y'all have heard Manny talk about it forever. And it obviously wasn't just when I was here in 18. We had a really successful year that year. But yes, we want to, we talk about being a vertical D line and setting a new line of scrimmage or creating chaos or hitting the quarterback or leading the country in TFLs. And to me, that happens when you play with the same mentality, but it also happens when guys play really disciplined and really together and how we react to blocks in the run game. You can have one side of the D line doing a great job and the backside nose or 3 getting cut out on a stretch play, and it doesn't matter what those front guys, on the front side of the run did. So, and I think one of our biggest goals is, the style of play, we get it around here. But what we got to take the next step in is playing connected. And that is paramount for us to play great defensive line here this fall here at the U.
Coach, this is the last one for you. We got Chris Stock from InsideTheU. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I was curious if you could go back a little bit more on Jared Harrison-Hunt with how he's doing and what jump does he need to make the next in his development? And then also if you could touch on how Elijah Roberts is doing.
Yeah, so Jared, to me, the next jump for him is in the mode, in modes of how we play. In jet mode, IDing protections and knowing when I have singles, or if I'm on a slide side, using all that talent to go B to A and not chasing the slide. In move mode is playing with great eyes and knowing I'm looking at the next down lineman and how do I react when I move so I don't give up plays that I could make. And then in go mode, playing with, he's done some great thing in our base technique. So to me, it's dividing up the parts of this game and trying to raise each level of each one of those parts. And, I think Jared has the potential to be a really, really good football player. Elijah Roberts, I told Coach Diaz, I thought Saturday morning he made a huge jump from the first kind of padded practice to the second practice and just getting him into that attack mode. Elijah is a kid to me that has a good feel for the game and understanding and how to get on and off blocks. We're just trying to get him more vertical right now. And he's been super coachable and I've really been encouraged the last couple of days by him.